So when you want to register for home education in New South Wales, this is a good thing to note. Under the Education Act 1990, you can choose to educate your child at home during any stage of their schooling. You must register with the New South Wales Education Standards Authority, and you will be required to renew your registration. Let's click on that. I wasn't expecting that. Let's click the good old back button. Good to note what you're clicking on. That takes us straight to a business. So we're going to scroll a little and go to Education Standards. There we go. Home Education Registration. There's the Act again that says we're legally allowed to home educate our children within New South Wales. So if a school needs a basis for your reason to home educate, that is a good reason. So, Form 1, that is an initial registration for home education. Form 2 is what you do the second time round after you've already been registered for home education within New South Wales before. And yes, Form 3 is certification for completion of Year 10, which is also very simple. You will fill out Form 1 if you've moved from interstate and are applying for home education in New South Wales for the first time. So let's click on that. We go down, it's got the basic information, child's name, family name, all the rest of it. I've found the home education application process in New South Wales fairly straightforward. I like that they provide a lot of information. I like that I'm not expected to know how to use all of it. I just like knowing that it's there if I go looking. It includes a section for educational issues or special needs and an optional section for reasons you might apply to home educate. There's this funky little tick box section. You can include records, you can include the program relevant to that NESA syllabus, which I walked through in my last video briefly. A method for recording, that can be anything from photos to diary entries or both. Student achievement and progress is also a personal choice. And sufficient resources. I find resources, knowing where to find them, knowing that there's a lot available across many topics is probably the key to registering for home education within New South Wales. Then there's a good old signature and date. That's the date that I think they put in the system for where your waiting period begins, and it puts you in line along with possibly many other people, and that helps them keep track of you. So when we get to that section that asks us if we've made a plan, we just tick yes, and then we get on with planning. And if we've already planned, then we get on with home educating, because why waste your time? Just start where you're at. So that's Form 1. Form 2 is not a great deal different, but let's have a look. Just as we'd expect, that's for renewal of registration, which is much easier to do when you've previously been registered. The point of renewal is actually to plan for 2 years and be given a longer registration. You'll only be given 1 year registration for the initial registration period of home education in New South Wales.